Hey guys, today we're going to do a special episode of the series, The Philosophy of Philosophy Now. So in this episode we're going to be answering like what's the idea of this series, how are we going to present the philosophy, what's our philosophy, yeah. So we've already done the first episode, the next is coming soon, like really quickly. I might do it in like January rather than February because it's not that long to produce a video. Like it's longer than all of the videos I've ever uploaded probably, but it's also not like it's easy to make 2 of them in a month. And I've already written the script for the next episode. It's looking to be a bit longer, and there's gonna be a cliffhanger, although it's not like a movie or something, but it feels like a cliffhanger because, anyways. The question is, what is this philosophy series? Yeah, I've already said that. So the main idea of the series is to explain the history of philosophy in relative detail in a neutral perspective while keeping it interesting and easy to understand. So I think there are a bit of problems in the first episodes about this. Like for example, maybe like I was speaking a little bit like my voice was a bit hard to understand. Maybe I was speaking too fast, or maybe like the microphone's not so clear. Actually, I don't use a microphone. Like the sound thing, like it's getting mixed up or something. Yeah, and that does kind of like undermine the interestingness and how good we can catch the detail and the perspective also in a sense. So let's explain what I mean by relative detail. Philosophy now attempts to explain the discussed philosophers or philosopher. For like the first 2 episodes we're gonna do multiple philosophers, but there will be some episodes where we only do one. Often those are the ones that have more like coverage or like have more works of philosophy, so that we can have more to cover about them and have more general historical importance. In such amount of detail enough to get the general ideas and the main points, but still keeping it quite concise. Oops, I did that. Let me solve that issue right now. I did this in Google Slides in 30 minutes, so okay. So the series will value deeper explanation rather than short durations. You can't really explain philosophy, especially multiple philosophers, in a short. The most you can get is 3 minutes after the Google short length buff, but that's not even enough to cover one philosopher in a good amount of detail, especially because you have a lot of filler in the beginning and the end. But anyways, we'll try to explain a few philosophers in a time of 20 to 30 minutes, keeping it still quite short actually proportionately, although of course compared to a lot of videos on YouTube or social media now, it is quite long, but compared to other videos it's quite short. But it's just long enough to I think it doesn't skip major details. If you feel like there's any major things that I missed, please report that and complain. So the neutral perspective we're striving for is the series is not a commentary, so I try to avoid seeing certain philosophy from a skewed perspective. I could technically do a commentary of my personal opinions, but I generally prefer publishing things that apply to everyone rather than just those who either want to see what I believe or who agrees with me. So part 2, our style. We try to present philosophy again in a general perspective, but also as clearly as possible, avoiding the false judgment that philosophy is dry and useless. So I think I try to do that with mixing in jokes or dialogues. Hopefully my voice can be clear enough so that you can hear them. I think that's the main problem for me, and also we can add some more things so it's more interesting, like the visuals and the sound effects. And I forgot to make a thumbnail for the first episode. That's not good, but yeah, that's the first episode. I think we can improve more. And we think philosophy is a human thing. Alright, so this is a chunky one. Philosophy is human. Yeah. It's because to philosophize you need to ask the big questions, and to ask questions you need to be curious and willing to know, which is a conscious enterprise. By the way, I'm saying it's human, and I'm not trying to argue that whether animals have curiosity or not, because that's beyond the scope of what I'm trying to say. But anyways, curiosity arises from acknowledgement of one's current limitations and a willingness to improve and learn, and the capacity to do so. So that means AI is not incorporated into all elements of the production of the series, except, this is a exception here, for some research purposes, where it is only used when human-made sources cannot provide an answer, or at least it is difficult to find an answer with human-written sources. So here are the acknowledgements. I'm not going to go through them, but you can just pause and see them. So now I'm going to answer some questions here. Will I upload other videos outside of philosophy now, like the usual videos? The answer is right there. I might upload also about the production process of a single episode of Philosophy Now as the next special episode. So how I make it, what's the stages and how long will it take, and how what about the editing, the writing, the recording, the filming, yeah, whatever. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.